Shout out to Caressa for sending me this story. And the only thing wilder than this story, excuse me, let me rephrase that. The only thing wilder than this story is the pronunciation of this man's name, whose name is, and I kid you not, his name is Stricjavvar Strickland. Like, that's his name, Stricjavvar, and he nicknamed him Strick, and his last name is Strickland. But anyway, the story itself is even more wilder than his name. And this is coming out of Kalamazoo, Michigan, where they said this pastor, and that's him, paid teenage boys to have sex with his wife. But that's not all he did. Apparently, he also sexually assaulted these boys as well. So it was like, okay, he was grooming them, quote unquote, and then making them have sex with his wife. Like, that's some otherworldly-ish right there. But let me get into it. A Kalamazoo pastor accused of sexually assaulting 4 male victims between the ages of 15 and 17 is said to have paid the children to have sex with his wife while he watched. Cuckolding. Now, this is a rarity because usually you see PC males do this with their wives. It's very rare that you ever hear of a black man doing or committing this kind of an act. The Reverend Stricjavvar Strickland, what a name, of Kalamazoo Second Baptist Church has been charged with 11 felonies connected to alleged incidents spanning from August 1st, 2015 to August 31st, 2018, according to a probable cause affidavit filed last week in Kalamazoo District Court. A warrant for Strickland's arrest was issued August 21st. As of Tuesday, August 25th, the pastor has yet to turn himself in. His attorney, Michael Hills, told MLive early Tuesday that the two were making arrangements for the pastor to turn himself in. It has been 2 years since these allegations first came forward, and Pastor Strickland has remained in contact and available. He is not running from this, Hill said. Pastor Strickland remains ready to turn himself in and deal with these charges accordingly. Strickland, age 37, faces 2 counts of third-degree criminal sexual conduct on a student, another on a person aged 13 to 15, and another by force or coercion, according to court records. He also faces 4 counts of human trafficking of a minor for commercial sexual activity and 3 counts of child sexually abusive activity. If convicted, the pastor faces a potential penalty of 15 years in prison on each of the first 4 charges and 20 years on each of the other 7 charges. Basically, he's looking at a lot of years. In a bond recommendation filed with the court along with the arrest affidavit, Kalamazoo County Assistant Prosecutor Christian Mertens Carlin recommends the court not allow the pastor to have any contact with the 4 alleged victims, his wife, Jasminique Strickland, or anyone under the age of 18. Per the reports, the defendant and his wife would use their employment at Phoenix High School in Kalamazoo, and to some extent, the defendant would use his work as a pastor to find male teens to engage in sexual activity with the wife, while the defendant watched and masturbated. The 4 said to be victims in the case ranged in age from 15 to 17 when the alleged acts occurred. Mertens Collins, who is recommending a cash or surety bond of $500,000 in the case, said it is also alleged that Strickland engaged in similar behavior with his ex-wife years ago while living in Mississippi. So this guy has a history. Strickland, when reached by MLive Tuesday, called the charges absolutely preposterous and said he still had no information regarding the specifics of the allegation levied against him. All I can say for now is that we are prepared for this fight, the pastor said. God will prevail. Michigan State Police Detective Sergeant Scott Ernestes wrote about the specifics of the allegations in the probable cause affidavit, which was filed August 18th. Ernestes wrote in the affidavit that he was first contacted in 2018 by 2 juveniles and one of their fathers referencing a potential sexual assault that occurred during the years from 2015 to 2018. At that point, an investigation began. The 2 juveniles told Ernestes, according to the affidavit, that both of them were students at Phoenix High School during the 2017-2018 school year when they met the couple. Jasminique Strickland, according to the affidavit, was a secretary at the school. Both of the boys who turned 17 during that school year were alleged to have been paid $100 each to have sex with Jasminique Strickland on separate occasions while her husband watched. The pastor is also alleged to have paid the children each $100 so he could watch his wife perform oral sex on them. Additional money was allegedly given to one of the boys to text nude photos to the pastor. The pastor also allegedly sexually assaulted one of the boys and then gave him money after the boy told him to stop. A third victim, interviewed in September, told the detective he was 16 years old in 2015 when he was first asked to send the Reverend nude photos in exchange for money. Later, when the boy was 17, Strickland coerced the child into allowing him to perform oral sex on the boy, according to the detective's affidavit. In exchange, Strickland allowed the boy to use the pastor's vehicle. Hernandez states he interviewed a fourth victim in February 2019. The victim told the detective he was 15 years old in 2015 when he was paid $200 by Strickland to have sex with the pastor's wife on a couch in the couple's basement. According to Hernandez's report, the victim claimed this type of incident happened on other occasions during 2015 and 2016 as well. In February 2019, 5 days after Hernandez interviewed the fourth individual, Hills and Strickland hosted a press conference where the two denied any wrongdoing had occurred whatsoever. In a separate Kalamazoo County court case, Strickland faces an assault charge stemming from an incident with a former church deacon that occurred at the Second Baptist Church in December 2019. That misdemeanor case is currently set for trial beginning September 30th in Kalamazoo County District Court. Strickland has been pastor at Second Baptist Church in Kalamazoo since 2012. He also previously served as the NAACP Kalamazoo chapter president from 2016 to 2018. There are no charges pending against Jasmine Strickland at this time, although she should have some charges as well, because she's just as guilty for going along with it. She might not get as many hefty charges as he is, but she should definitely have some penalties as well. But wow, that was a lot of information that came out about this sick, psychotic, narcissistic person that you see in this picture. And it's always the one she probably would not expect that would do or engage in this type of activity. But this guy is inherently sick in the head. And I hope they lock his ass all the way up. Because I've read some stories before. This one right here is crazy. It really is. Like the fact that he did all of that for years. And then they said he even engaged in this kind of activity with his ex-wife in another state. I wonder if that's why he fled that state, because they knew of his history down there and he knew he couldn't stay. Too bad they couldn't catch him then, before he was able to get a hold of these young boys now. He is bad. Like this, like he is a poison for real. A stain on society. There's only one place that he can be put, and hopefully, well, to be honest, I know they're going to do the right thing. Look at him. This is a black man doing something like this. He's definitely going to get the bookshelf. Well, damn, the whole library thrown at him.